Grand Admiral Krivax of the D-Rexian hegemony surveyed the smoldering ruins of New Eden colony with satisfaction. The human settlement that once housed 60,000 souls was now nothing but ash and rubble. His battle cruisers hung in orbit, their work complete. "Send word to the Emperor," Krivax commanded. "Tell him the humans have been taught their lesson. Let all species know the price of defying D-Rexian expansion." His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Vetri, approached with uncharacteristic hesitation. "Admiral, long-range sensors are detecting unusual activity at the edge of the system." Krivax scoffed. "The humans have no significant military presence this far from Earth. Their nearest fleet would take weeks to arrive." Nevertheless, Vetri insisted something is coming. "And it's not using conventional drive signatures." Before Krivax could respond, the communications officer interrupted. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission. System-wide, on all frequencies." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a human female in a black uniform, devoid of insignia or rank. Her expression was not one of fear or pleading, as Krivax had expected. Instead, her eyes burned with a cold, calculating fury. "Direxian forces," she began, her voice unnervingly calm. "I am Admiral Helena Ramirez of the Terran Special Response Division. You have committed an act of genocide against a civilian human colony. There will be no negotiations. There will be no terms. There will only be consequence." Krivax laughed, mandibles clicking in amusement. "Your bravado is admirable, human but misplaced. Your nearest military assets are light years away." The human's expression didn't change. "You misunderstand. We're already here." Suddenly, alarms blared across the D-Rexian flagship. Space itself seemed to fold inward at 12 points around the system, reality warping as massive vessels emerged not from hyperspace, but from what appeared to be tears in the fabric of space-time itself. What is this?" Krivax demanded, his confidence faltering as he beheld the ships. Unlike the sleek utilitarian designs of known human vessels, these were angular, black, and bristling with weapon systems his sensors couldn't even categorize. "The humans called it Project Nemesis," Vetri whispered, horror dawning in his voice. "It was a rumor, a myth. They said humans were developing Vengeance-class vessels after the Proxima incident, but no one believed." "Target their flagship," Admiral Ramirez continued on the still-open channel. "Let them witness what happens when humanity is pushed too far." One of the black ships moved forward, its hull seeming to absorb light rather than reflect it. A strange spiraling vortex of energy began forming at its prow. "Evasive maneuvers," Krivax shouted. "All ships, defensive formation." But there was nowhere to run. The human weapon discharged not a beam or projectile, but a cascading wave of gravitational distortion that caught 3D Erexian warships. In seconds, the proud vessels were crushed, twisted into impossible shapes as space itself constricted around them. "By the Emperor," Krivax whispered. Admiral Ramirez's voice remained level. 60,000 lives. 60,000 dreams extinguished. For each one, a D-Rexian will answer. "We were following orders," Krivax protested. "This sector was claimed by the hegemony." "We gave warning." "Then perhaps you should have studied human history more carefully," Ramirez replied. "We have never responded well to those who target our civilians. Following orders has never been an acceptable excuse." The remaining 11 vessels of humanity's fleet of vengeance moved into attack position, each deploying weapons that defied D-Rexian understanding: singularity projectors, molecular disassemblers, dimensional phase cannons. Technologies that had been mere theoretical concepts were now instruments of retribution. As his ship's systems began failing under an assault he couldn't comprehend, Krivax received one final transmission, not from Admiral Ramirez, but from the D-Rexian Emperor himself. "What have you done?" the Emperor demanded, fear evident even across the vast distance. The humans were containing something far worse than themselves at the galactic rim. Their colonies were sentinels, not expansion. "You fool!" As consciousness faded, Krivax finally understood. Humans hadn't been claiming territory, they had been guarding it. And now, with New Eden gone, whatever horror they had been containing would soon be free. In his final moments, Grand Admiral Krivax realized that annihilating a human colony hadn't just awakened humanity's wrath, it had doomed the entire galaxy. The fleet of vengeance was just the beginning, and it was all his fault. "By the Emperor," Krivax whispered,